All right, folks. So two things before we get the video started. One, there's a pretty cringe-worthy moment in this video where I refer to different knives as faces. It sounded good in my head. Rewatched it. It was just awkward and a weird comparison. Started out with a good idea. It got strange and kind of cringe-worthy really fast. So sorry about that. Second one. My post got downvoted so many times that I was asked to join the controversial club on Reddit. Yeah, so said posting is the reason why I am, recording this video. But it doesn't show you when you have downvotes on a post. On a comment it does, but on an actual post it only will show however high and then down to 0. So it stayed at 0 for a while. So I figured I was getting a decent amount of downvotes. That posting was up for about 3.5 hours, and I'm at 17,000. So yeah, apparently a very sensitive subject. Hopefully you guys are more receptive, and yeah, I was not trying to do this at all. But yeah, apparently it happened, so. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe. I swear I wasn't trying to offend nobody. I really, really wasn't. I don't know how to take this. How you doing today, folks? So today I have a video for you on kind of the cost carry curve and just using your shit. So I posted up a picture on Instagram, got maybe 50 or 60 different reactions, all positive for the most part. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll do the same thing on Reddit. So Reddit does not allow you to get downvoted past 0. If it did, I would probably have a massive amount of negative karma. As it sits, my karma has gone from, it was like 8,000 to I think I'm at like maybe 1,700 right now. So I got downvoted into oblivion, basically. And this is basically what I had said. I posted some pictures of this knife, which has some couple scratches on it now and some scuff marks. I've definitely been using it. And I had said that I'm tired of all these pristine custom / mid-techs. If you love it, then hashtag use your shit. Now, I didn't say this to be aggressive towards anybody or to gatekeep, as I've been called maybe like 30 times in the last 2 hours. I said this because, for me, if you buy a knife, it's a tool. It should be used. Maybe that's kind of a sensitive subject. I honestly wasn't aware that it was. But either way, it equaled up a whole bunch of hostility. So for me personally, I love knives. I love this community. I love building stuff. I love meeting makers. I love using, I just love knives in general. I probably have an unhealthy obsession with knives. And I love, and I mean I absolutely love using them. Now, what you see here are all knives that honestly, with the exception of this one right here, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to keep. So usually I'll keep a knife for between 3 to 5 months and see, if it really starts to get used. And if it doesn't, then it gets sold. So my whole philosophy of use is that, if I love a knife, it's going to get used. I handled this Medford 187. I loved it immediately, went in my pocket immediately, and I just started beating on it. Now, it's not to say I'm trying to make the lock mechanism fail or I'm trying to pry off a fucking car door with it or something like that, though. This might just handle that. It's to say that I start using it. I start cutting with it. I start carrying with it. I start, I'm not too worried about damaging it. Because at the end of the day, it is a tool. It's a very much a functional piece of art, and that function is to cut things and to be a tool. And for me personally, a higher end piece, it very much fits that role. I love using the higher end knife because the fit and finish, the tolerances, everything else, they just get better and better and better. And maybe it's this kind of internal arrogance thing, insecurity thing, or I want to flex what I have. I don't necessarily know. I don't think about these things when I'm actually buying a knife or using a knife. But for me, the whole purpose of a knife is to use it and to love it and to, just watch it cut things. So this whole thing was very confusing to me. And this is very much going to be a rant video, to be clear. If you haven't, 3 minutes in, we haven't gotten to a point yet. So this is going to be probably a 50-minute rant. If you don't like that, by all means, click off. There's better, more precise content on my channel. This one's going to be kind of out there. So for me, using a knife is awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't think about, oh, this knife costs so much money, I can't carry it. If I think that it costs too much money that I can't carry it, personally, I'm just not going to buy it. If I have a subscriber lending me a custom, right? I'm like, hey, can I use this piece? And they tell me no. Honestly, I'm not going to feature it on the channel besides maybe do an unboxing, because I can't give that knife a review. I can't be like, yeah, this knife is phenomenal, edge geometry, ergonomics, everything else, if I can't actually use it. So when I personally buy a knife, it's to be used, Like I go to almost every single show I can, right? I went to Blade Show East not too long ago. I also went to the one in Oregon, West, East. I'm not sure which ones they are. I was not able to go to Atlanta this year, but I was able to go to the one in Oregon. It's also the California Custom Knife Show. I'm going to be at SHOT Show very, very soon. I think SHOT Show might have already started. I don't even remember. I think they said it was on. Shit, I need to check my tickets now. I might have bought SHOT Show tickets and didn't actually go. That would suck. Oh, now I'm nervous. Anyways, we'll cross that bridge later, I guess. But anyway, I go to all these different shows possible, right? And I'll buy stuff from the makers and everything else. And there's this recurring thing. And I stand out pretty prominently, right? I'm 6'8". I have red hair. I'm covered in fucking tattoos. I talk kind of weird. And I look fairly recognizable, right? So people tend to recognize me. So I'll go up to a maker, buy a piece, and then sometimes even a year later, I'll come back and I'll be carrying that piece. And they see the use marks on it. Oh, hey, I remember you, how's it holding up? And I pull it out, and there are scratches on the blades, and there's, there's scuff marks and snail trails and stuff like that. And they're like, what happened to it? I'm like, oh, I used it. Like, it's meant to be used, right? And the look on their face is the most beautiful, priceless thing to me ever. It's almost like you can actually see the light radiating off of them. Because I'm told the same thing over and over and over again. People use our knives for pocket jewelry. I talked to the people at Holt at one point in time, right? Because I managed to buy a Spectre from them. And I showed up 6 months later at a different show, and it was used. It wasn't abused, but it was very clearly used. And first off, people at Holt are amazing, but they were just absolutely blown away. And they had all these questions, how is the edge geometry? How does the edge hold up? How is it cutting? Are there any hot? They just started flooding me with all these different questions, right? And they told me that, we love making knives. We love our customers, love our community. We're not going to gatekeep what somebody does with their knives. But for the most part, it's all pocket jewelry, which basically means it sits there, it's pretty. It doesn't really ever get used, or if it does, it's very, very light. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Again, I'm not trying to gatekeep anybody, but that's not my philosophy of use. That's not how I use things. So do me a favor. In the comment section, stop the video for a second and tell me what your philosophy of use is. What is your cost carry curve ratio? Can you carry something like these? Which we have 4 customs here, and then some high-end productions, a mid-tech. This is just a Chavez, but it's a limited edition one. You can't really find too many of these anymore. Would you carry something like this? Would you use it? Would you love it? Or would it basically just sit in a safe? And I want to be very clear on this. There is no wrong answer. What I do doesn't have to be what you do. If you get your joy from knives by looking at them, or occasionally popping them out and flipping them open a little bit and then putting them back in the safe, man, you do you. This hobby is so much about personal preference, that there really is no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious how many of you guys really like to use your pieces. And if so, why and how? Because for me, again, like, man, I get so much joy off of using these. They all get carried. Some of them get carried more, like others. This thing, for example, has this kind of a thicker blade stock. It's kind of a beefier knife. So I'm more likely to pry with that, and I have pried with this. Same thing with this Marauder. I'm more likely to pry with this, and this has wear marks. It has little pieces of there where the coating's starting to scuff off. There are a couple little scratches on here. Nothing major, because again, I'm not beating on them. I'm not trying to make the mechanisms fail, but they're definitely being used. Now, something like this, which is a full custom by Sheepdog Knives, just a complete one-off, I wouldn't pry with this because the blade stock isn't really there. It doesn't have that whole use philosophy for it, to me anyways. So for that one, I wouldn't necessarily feel that way. But like the Sabenza, for example, or this is a custom by Homer Zoo, I would absolutely use this. The Chavez, same thing. This custom knife factory piece already has scratches and damage on it and everything else, and that's part of it's from the original owner, part of it's from me. But I love it, so I use it. But because of there's different ways to use a product. Like, oh man, I feel like I'm kind of rambling here, but some knives you don't want to pry with. Some things you can do light prying, some things cut a certain way, some things have different edge geometry, some things slice better than others. But they all have their individual pieces. I kind of think of a knife kind of design, right, almost as a face, right? So they have the basic general ideas. Everybody's face at some point in time both looks similar, but also is entirely unique. Their dynamics, the edge geometry, the ergonomics, the feeling, the look, the fit and finish, everything has a combination in some way, shape, or form to fit some unique character. So again, these things to me, they're all different faces, right? But they all fit the same generalized thing. Now, some of them are prettier than others, some of them are easier to use than others, but like at the same time, they all have their own unique characteristics about them. And for me personally, again, I just love using them. Like, I just get this weird, giddy, like joyous fascination, right? With just like being able to pull out a higher end knife, and I never just pull it out and just start cutting things immediately. It's like I'll pull it out and just hold it in my hands and just check it out for a second, and then slice and then watch them, whatever material I'm cutting, just part so cleanly and beautifully and without effort with that nice sharp edge. And to me, it's almost like an aphrodisiac. And again, maybe that's weird. Maybe I'm just a complete fucking freak of nature. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't care. This is what brings me joy. So to get so much negativity and to be called a gatekeeper or, mind your own fucking business or a whole bunch of other stuff, it really is baffling to me where all the hate comes from, because people can choose to do what they want to do. And like, I don't understand how voicing my opinion on something that I happen to be really, really passionate about equals a whole bunch of people throwing a bunch of negative comments and hate and shade towards me. When again, this is my preference. Again, if you love your knives, man, and you want to throw them in a safe and that brings you happiness, man, do you. Do not listen to what I'm saying. I'm not trying to convince you to use your knives or yada, yada, yada. Would I prefer to see it being used? Yes. Guess what? It's not my fucking knife. It's not my fucking problem. It's completely your thing. And that's just fine. There's no issue at all with it. So again, please comment below. Let me know what your cost curve carry ratio is. What are you okay with using? At what price point does it get to where you just can't touch it? Because for me, if I'm going to buy a knife, I'm going to use a knife. If I tell myself that, this is $1,000 piece, I will never use it, I'm just not going to buy it. And if I get it, then I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it gently at first to test the ergonomics and feel everything. And if I really just feel it click with me, again, it's going to get damaged. It's going to get scratched. It's going to get snail trails. It's going to get loved. And that's just me. So what are you? what do you feel in regard to the situation? Again, comment below. Let me know. That's to be clear. I'm quoting a channel called Jeremy Jans. I don't know why that just came out of my mouth, but I do all these in one take, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. But genuinely, let me know how you feel, because I really am curious to see. Hopefully, we get a nice, calm, respectful discussion going. Because man, I was not ready for that negativity. I understand it's the internet; people are negative in general, but I've actually had an overwhelmingly positive experience on my time on YouTube, on Reddit, on forums, on everything else. I really haven't had too many issues, so that one coming up, that really, really shocked me. So as always, I love you all very, very much. Thank you for your time, your likes, your subscribes, your support, your comments. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I really enjoy talking to you. So as always, take care of yourself, and please do me just as one personal favor and do the best you can to be a better person tomorrow than you are today. And I do promise you'll find your center in life. Take care, love one another, be kind to one another, and let's just enjoy fucking knives, man. Screw the old hippie shit, man. Let's just love our knives and love our pieces and love our tools. And whatever we want to do with them, we do with them. We love them. If it makes us happy, there is no wrong answer. Take care, folks.